right.
Okay, we're going to start admitting people, and then we'll get started. Hi, Dean. Okay, I see lots of people joining us. Okay.
Derek, that's a spectacular headshot.
I know. I was just saying the same thing. My headshot looks awful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Garrett looks really great. Hi, Jamie. I see Carlos coming in and Marcelo. Okay, and then when we get Marcelo joined in, we'll get started with the group that we have. Is that okay, Carl?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and we are recording as usual. We'll let Marcelo in, and then we'll get started. Uh-oh, I can already hear Aruba Island Bowls downstairs. We're clubbing in here. Are we having issues with Marcelo? Hi, everybody. Give us a moment. It would not be our show without some technical difficulties.
I have the snacks.
I hear Ingrid.
I do too. Maybe we can mute Miss Charlene there. All right. So hi, everyone. Okay. So we're having a little bit of issues admitting some folks. So we're going to start with who we have now. And as per usual, everyone, hello. If you've been here for a while, we'll see people popping in occasionally. Some of them are getting time off of work or they're coming to us from another group. So we'll just watch the waiting room. Okay, Nick and Lucho, and we'll let folks in as they come. I see Mr. Van Gregory joining us now. Yeah. But we'll get started because it is Wednesday at 2:00 Eastern time. And that means it's another time to get together and chat about Life Amplified, right, Carl?
Yep.
And look, it's the real Carl. The real Carl is here, not Chihuahua Carl. So welcome back, Carl.
It's no longer virtual.
You're not virtual. You're not a little Chihuahua statue. We've got you live and in the flesh, and I'm really glad to have you back.
Glad to be here.
Great. So everyone, I'm Jennifer. I'm the executive director for Amputee Aid. Amputee Aid is a nonprofit based in Pittsburgh serving folks nationwide who are living with limb loss and limb difference. This is Carl Allison. Carl is the founder of Amputee Aid. We get together every Wednesday at 2:00 Eastern. Hi, Van Gregory, on Zoom as well as on TikTok. Hi, TikTok friends. And we chat for an hour together. Now, for those of you who have been here live before, there are two things I like to do up front. Number one, check in and say hi and see where you're from. So let us know in the chat where you are from. Hi, Peter in Dallas. Oh, Peter, if you are not going to Legapalooza on Sunday, consider it. And we'll send you the information. Greg Sauser, Dallas Amputee Network, we support them. We'd be there too, except we've got an event here for the Pittsburgh Marathon on Sunday. Big event, Legapalooza. So for any of our Texas people, either go. Oh, I see Greg joining now. We'll wait, and maybe Greg can talk a little bit about it. So as I said, two things I like to do up front every time we meet is know where you are from and say hello. Hi, Charlene in Pittsburgh. We got some people from all over the country. Jamie in Chicago. We've got some Florida people, more Texas people. We'd love to know where you are from. If you're watching the recording, hi to you too. And please put in the comments where you're from so we know. We serve folks all over the country, and we like to know where our reach is. Second thing I like to remind everybody of California, is when we get together is that we are recording our live session. No one can see your faces, all your beautiful faces and icons and names, except the two of us, right, Carl?
That's correct.
Right, but we can hear your voices. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't want your voice on the internet, that's okay. We still want you to participate. You can put your comment in the chat. Nick and Lucho will, behind the screen, will alert us that you've made a comment, and we will read it for you. But today is going to be an engaging session, and we're relying on all of you to participate. So whether you're willing to come off of mute and chat with us, or you want to put your comment in the chat, either way would be super helpful for some reasons we're going to get into in a moment, okay? Yeah. Hi, Dean in Miami. We love all people in the warm weather states. We've got some warm and cold weather states. So, we had advertised, Carl, that we were going to talk about social media and disability today with a guest influencer. Now, we are still going to talk about social media and disability advocacy. We've got a list of questions on my handy-dandy sheet here. However, we had a slight change of plans last minute, and I am going to share the reason why with permission from our guest. Zach, who is an influencer on TikTok, had a nasty accident over the weekend. And he is in the hospital, and on some pretty intense medications. So we made a judgment call that today was probably not the day to have him zooming in, particularly from the hospital. So I'm sharing that with his permission for all of you. We want to hope and pray that he gets well soon.
Yeah.
And he will be joining us at a later point because I think it'd be really interesting for all of you live and on the recording to hear from an influencer's perspective how you can use your platform to advocate for people with limb loss and limb difference. So we're going to bookmark that topic for a few weeks out when he is fully recovered and healed and not hopped up on all kinds of medications and probably living his best life, but not in any way that's coherent to the rest of us. Okay?
Yeah.
And you're okay with that too, right, Carl?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fun, and anybody who's an amputee knows what it's like if you fall and land the wrong way. So we're all thinking of him, and hopefully a speedy recovery.
Yes, we are all thinking of him for exactly speedy recovery. And Zach, when you watch our recording, we miss you very much, friend, and we're looking forward to talking with you in a few weeks. But we're going to continue the conversation about social media and disability advocacy because we've got some questions that we are going to talk about as a group with all of you. So we really are relying on those of you who are appearing live to make this conversation engaging. We've got some conversations to talk about, some topics. We've got some photographs, some memes that we want to share and talk about a little bit as well. But we're also going to start our conversation, Carl, with some kind of miscellaneous topics. One of which is you being here with a prosthetic again.
Yes.
And the second, if we can skip you for a moment, sorry, you're very important, but I alluded to Legapalooza, and I see that Greg is on Zoom now, and Greg is from Dallas Amputee Network. I saw Peter's from Dallas, and Van Gregory put in the comment, he mentioned that he's also going to Legapalooza. So Greg, when you joined, I was saying we would be there too, except we got a Pittsburgh marathon event here on Sunday, but your event is also on Sunday. And I see you're off of mute. I'm not sure if you can comment or share, if people can still sign up, if they can go, if they can just show up, if they're in the Dallas area. Are you able to share a little bit about Legapalooza, Greg? Oh, we might not have a mic for Greg. Do we know, Nick and Lucho? If we can? Oh, here he is. Hey, Greg, I'm putting you on the spot, buddy. Are people still able to come?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Greg.
Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. Anyone in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you don't even have to be missing a limb. You want everyone to come and enjoy it. It's our main fundraiser throughout the year, and with the funds we raise, it's really to support our community and education, and we'll send people to events, things along those lines, help them medically if they need help. But anyone who wants to come on.
Yeah, so come.
I really appreciate it. I know Peter's a member of our organization, so is Van. I mean, they can speak to it. I don't know if Van's ever been to one, but Peter, I think, was there last year.
Awesome.
It's a good time by all. The weather's supposed to be beautiful too.
Good. We're not going to have, we're going to have cold weather up here in Pittsburgh when we're cheering on the runners who will be supporting our organization. But for all of you down in Texas, or if you can get to Texas, go. Go. And Greg, thank you for coming to our webinars as often as you do. It's super cool to see the community supporting each other.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Van Gregory.
Absolutely.
I saw Van Gregory's comment that he's also going to Legapalooza. And Van Gregory, you and Tina, putting you on the spot, you all went to an event with Les Legmore Hart recently as well. Is that right? Yes, I see head shaking. Yes. Awesome. Okay. And hopefully y'all had I hope you all had a good time. If you want to share, like I said, we're starting with miscellaneous topics. We're going to get into social media as well, but I'd love to kind of catch up with everybody.
I'll go, and then Van can add to it if he wants to. It was my first time actually being around other amputees other than who I might see at physical therapy, and it was the absolute best experience I've had. I laughed more than I've laughed my whole life, and it was just an amazing experience. And my friend that went with me was hesitant to go because she was like, I'm not sure I'll fit in. And maybe I'll have to go do things on my own. But she laughed just as hard as the rest of us and was joining right in with all of us and said, any more you want me to go to, I'll go with you.
Awesome. And I looked at all the social media pictures that I could find. Tina, very beautiful dress. So it was a Roaring 20s theme.
Oh, cool.
And gorgeous dress. And Van Gregory, you look like a 1920s bartender. Like, I don't know if that was the vibe you were going with. It was such a both of you, like you dressed the part spot on. Did you want to share anything else, Van Gregory?
Well, I'll just have to piggyback on what Tina was saying is that it was a wonderful event. Lots of laughter, lots of fun, good people being around, and just gave us an opportunity to be amongst one another and to meet other amputees who we haven't met, and also just to bring awareness to the rest of the community that, you know, there are things that we like to get out and do as well.
Yes.
And we do it well, and we can have fun just as much as anyone else. So any of those events that you can get out to as an amputee or just not an amputee, get out and, you know, participate. Don't be afraid to. You know, there are some limitations and restrictions for some people's abilities to get out, but if at all possible, I encourage everyone to get out.
Yeah,
and do that.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. And thank you for saying that, Van Gregory, because that, although we use this time to talk about limb loss and limb difference generally, not to plug Amputee Aid, I'm going to do my job as the executive director and plug Amputee Aid a little bit. We support people going to all of these events. So if you have a financial hardship, but you want to go down to an event in Dallas, or you want to go to a Less Like More Heart event or Amputee Coalition event, or any of a number of other events from organizations, please contact us so we can talk about how we can help you. Because it's so, so important, as Tina mentioned, to be around people who have the same lived experience.
Man, there's nothing more generating on your health and your mental state to go and go to an event like this and hear Tina say, we laughed the whole time we were there. I mean, that's what it's about. Being in that community and helping. So, yeah, man, if we could ever help somebody get out to an event like that, please call us.
Please call us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Van Gregory. You had more to share. And then we'll go back to Tina.
Yes, I would like to emphasize, and I'll plug you.
Thank
you. If you would like to reach out to Amputee Aid, I just returned from a amputee hangar event in Tampa, Tampa, Florida, about 2 weeks ago, which Amputee Aid did assist me with my travel and the room to get there.
Awesome.
And I also went to the amputee a hangar event that was in Phoenix, Arizona, earlier in September, I believe it was. And that was a wonderful event as well. That was Empower Fest, another amputee event for everyone to get
nice, just
to do different activities and to network and just to be around other people and to, you know, get out and do things. And then after that, I went to Tennessee for a Camp No Limits event, which is a children's camp for children 18 and under who have limb loss or limb difference. And that is so just life-changing. That was my third camp to go to, Camp No Limits. So if you're out there and you want to get off to some events and do some things and just participate and be in the community and give back to the community, or just see what the amputee community is doing, I would encourage you to reach out to Amputee Aid. They do assist, as Jennifer mentioned. They do assist you with travel and medical and all of the other stuff. Right. And also, I'd have to plug in for Less Leg, More Heart. Give them a look as well.
Yes.
Because we help with people look at different types of resources and, you know, enhance your quality of life.
Yes, we love our friends at Less Leg, More Heart. Yeah. And Tina, you had another comment to share.
Yes, I wanted to add this. First of all, I want to preface this with I'm not a drinker, but I came back and told my boys.
Way to preface it.
The breakfast bar 2 days in a row and the bar on Sunday nights.
Okay.
Mom.
All right.
So you really had a good time. That's what we like to hear.
Right on.
That is what we like to hear. You know, for some people, maybe it's not the right time to do outdoor events or public events. Maybe you're homebound, mobility is questionable, or you're just not comfortable with it. Social media is another great option. And that's why we're going to talk about social media engagement in a little bit. Yeah. One more update, and then I want to hear from Carl before we jump into our topic, because I would not be doing a good job if I skipped over Mr. Jamie. And you don't have to out yourself if you don't want to, but I'm going to sing Jamie's praises, because on Sunday, right? Was it Sunday? Saturday.
November 1st.
It was. Jamie went
Sunday.
Went all the way up the Willis Tower in Chicago, which is how many flights? Over 100, right?
105.
105 flights. Okay. And if you want to donate on his behalf, you can still do that. Jamie, maybe during our webinar, if you could put the link or anything in there for folks who might be interested, including us. Because and thank you. I reached out to Jamie earlier today. I said, is there still the ability to support Jamie in doing that? And there was running for a cause and to donate to a specific charity. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, Jamie?
Where I did my physical and occupational rehab after my partial foot amputation. So it's Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, and I'm sure many of you have heard of them.
Yeah.
They're all around the country, and they're number one for, I think it's 35 consecutive years.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Wow. So, and there was, how many people, Jamie, would you estimate were there for the event?
There were over 2,100.
Yeah. That's amazing. And we shared Jamie's picture, his after picture with the medal on our social media, and it's on Jamie's too. So check him out. Quite an accomplishment, and also for an amazing cause. So kudos to all of you.
Way to go, Jamie.
You know, between last week and this week coming up with Legapalooza and the Pittsburgh Marathon event, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But one thing that was really exciting in our office is having Carl back and having something new that's not a scooter. So, Carl, let me move the table out of the way. Hold on here.
Get that thing.
Get this thing out of the way.
So,
all right. Tell us what are we looking at here, and give us an update on how you're doing.
This morning, I got my leg finally. So,
yay!
Big update.
Hand claps, heart emojis. We love that.
It's so August 29th, got the OCI surgery. So osseointegration, healing, loading, getting up to this point. I've been using crutches, and I had a knee scooter until this morning. So
literally, yes.
Yeah. So sadly, I thought the pain, the awkwardness of the integration implant, putting more weight on it, climbing stairs, would be my biggest hurdle today, but it wasn't. Zero pain. A little awkward because I haven't walked in 10 weeks, but I'm having knee pain for some reason. I think I'm blaming it on the knee scooter. But it was just essentially because I haven't been walking in a long time, so I'm a little rusty, which is an awful feeling. But I'm excited. Finally got a leg. I have another follow-up, and it's off to the races now. It's just
So, Carl, when I saw you this morning, I asked you if it felt different, if you could feel the floor differently, if there was any noticeable change.
Yeah,
how would you describe that to folks who are interested in osseointegration surgery?
So, yeah, if you're in a socket, and the biggest difference is you feel those vibrations. So when I'm walking, I know where the end of my foot is, believe it or not, like stairs, placement, things like that. It definitely feels different. And now that I have an actual prosthetic and I'm walking and standing, I haven't had any phantom pain today.
Really?
Yeah. So
that is so interesting. And as a caveat, everyone's healing journey is different. And for some people, osseointegration surgery is not right for them. Yeah. We do have some podcasts and prior webinar recordings on our YouTube channel. This month, we are recording a follow-up session for Carl's surgery so we can kind of close out that series, and we'll talk more about that on the Amputee Show, which is our monthly podcast. Carl, a couple more questions, if you're okay with that, before we jump into social media. You had mentioned earlier this morning, the parts that we're seeing here, you ordered some new, or this is not the final setup. Is that kind of the fair way to say it?
Yeah, that's correct. So
okay.
This is the same prosthetic I had that was attached to a socket. So we basically set it up so we can get the right height, the right dimensions, and having the right, anytime you're left or right, which way you point the toe, in or out, and then making sure that you're not feeling like you're falling forward or falling backwards, but you're standing properly. So there was a lot of adjustments in the pylon section, which is the section between the blade and the connection.
Got it.
So it's a little wonky now. You can see that there's some wedges in there, some additional pieces, but the new leg, which will be mimicked from this, is going to be a cleaner pylon, and then a shorter blade by about an inch. And then I opted for a center piece, which is more of it allows it to articulate like an ankle, so we can walk on uneven ground and not feel, because the difference when you're in a socket is there's a little bit of movement with your leg, so your knee isn't going to have a lot of stress. It has some stress, but not as much, because there's a little bit of movement and pull inside of a socket. But once you're direct connect, all of the like friction or movement that you feel from the bottom, you can feel in your knee because it's direct connect. So it's really important to have the right spacing, the right heights, the right feeling. So when you're walking, you have a little bit of cushion or push so that it doesn't hurt your, your lateral movement.
Sure. Now the final, I guess, the direct connect piece, that you can swap out if you want your running leg or your water leg. Is it universal?
Correct. So this is the connector piece here.
Right.
It is one torque wrench adapter. Basically, it's a T30 connection. You can that screw comes out, leg comes off. The other one connects the exact same way. It takes less than 10 seconds, if I'm being honest.
Really? And I saw you look over here because you've got the key.
I do have a key, but unfortunately, I tightened it pretty tight. So I'll give you a little bit of a demo if I can actually get it loose because I actually put some pressure on it this morning.
So it doesn't.
So I have a longer handle one that's a little easier to use, but yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get it off with this one.
We'll do it for the podcast so we can do a little demo.
Yeah,
but
I'll definitely show you.
But now what happens if you lose your key?
It's a very common metric. It's a torque wrench size 30.
So it's
you can buy it anywhere.
Home Depot trip. Hopefully you don't, knock on wood.
This one's small as a keychain backup in case I don't have my normal one.
Okay, great. So before we turn to talking about social media, first we wanted to give an update because we have been anxiously waiting to see,
Me too.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying we like it was my leg, and I'm taking the credit for it. But I'm sure you were anxiously waiting too, and we're glad.
Yeah.
And you'll have some follow-up appointments to get the final set up, and then we'll look at the running leg and the water leg. Is that right?
Yeah, and I'll be for the next 2 weeks. I have a list of exercises I have to do to keep strengthening this.
Yeah.
But it takes about 2 weeks more now that I'm more ambulatory walking to get that strength back, get that feeling back, and then I'll be able to do more. That's why we waited to put the other leg on.
Oh, awesome. Now, two pieces of good news for all of you based on Carl now getting his leg. The first one being, we have a scooter. We have a knee scooter, right?
We have 2 knee scooters.
We have 2, and they're nice, really, really nice. And when Carl would zip through our office like super fast, okay? And we are looking to rehome them, right?
Yes, and I would say so. One is 3 wheels, one is 4 wheels. So the 4-wheel one is can handle a little heavier, and it's a little safer. So if you want the 3-wheeler, I'm going to tell you, I fell off it 3 times, I think.
Yes, full disclosure. You're not going to be zipping downtown in that one. That's more for like inside or slow.
It's a little faster, a little more dynamic, but it can be wobbly if you're not careful, whereas the 4-wheel one is a little more sturdy.
Yeah.
But we do have 2.
We have 2. So if you or someone you know in the limb loss, limb difference community is looking for a knee scooter, really well maintained,
fairly brand new, basically.
Basically brand new. Contact us. Okay, info@amputee-aid.com or Jennifer@amputee-aid.com. We would love to rehome both of them. Don't worry about shipping. We will take care of it.
Correct.
So for those of you live, let us know. Email us. If you're watching the recording, email us. It's going to be first come, first serve. But so if you or someone you know is looking for a knee scooter, FYI on the 3-wheeler, that's assume your own risk. It's great, but you're not going to be zipping around on it. Please let us know, and we'd love to give those to you. Second great update for all of you is your doctor, Dr. Reef, has gifted us a free consultation. And typically that's a couple $100 if your insurance doesn't cover it.
$400.
Yes. Okay. Couple $100. Yeah. Okay. $400. And
very generous.
Dr. Reef has gifted us a consultation. Like I said, OI is not appropriate for everyone. But if you or someone you know is interested in having that consultation, now, doctor lives in New York. You don't have to be a New York resident. You're not a New York resident.
No.
You can. So if you are interested, please let us know. Same thing, info@amputee-aid.com or Jennifer@amputee-aid.com. That will also be first come, first serve. Okay.
And just to add on to that, so this is a Zoom call. You don't have to go to New York. You can do this virtually. It's about a 45-minute conversation so that you can get real answers from a surgeon. So do your research first. Make sure it's something you're truly interested in. understand the risks, understand the pros, the cons before you commit to having a consultation with the surgeon. Because at that point, you're going to want to bring some questions to the table and be prepared. Because if it all goes well, you could be just like me, walking around the eye. So.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that the consultation is used wisely. So if you know
Correct.
already not interested in this, in fairness, pass that opportunity to someone else. And like I said, it's first come, first serve. So if you know someone in the community who you really think, I would like to help that person, I think that person should have the consult, it's okay to share this information. But as soon as that consultation is grabbed up, unfortunately, that's going to be it. We can't squeeze out as many, hundreds of these from Dr. Reef, but I will try.
Yeah.
But I can't commit for him. Okay?
One other side note, I am wearing a sock.
Yeah.
But this is really just because it was 30 degrees this morning.
Here in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
It's not necessary. I put that on because it was just comfortable for me. Because I've been on a knee scooter, so having that extra pad. But I went to the doctor's this morning on the scooter with my crutches, and I left with this on. But normally I would not need this. It's not necessary. You do not need a liner. You do not need socks. You do not need a socket. It is a direct connection to the implant.
Your implant. Yeah. So in warmer days, we would see you without the sock.
Or colder days. I don't care.
Colder days, whatever. Yeah, that's right. You're a Pennsylvanian for sure. It could be snowing and 6 feet of snow outside, and you'll still be wearing your shorts because that's how we roll in the cold weather states.
I'll just wear a vest.
Just a vest? Or some other things too. Sorry. Okay.
Keep the
Wrong
core.
direction. So sorry. All right. Why don't we spend some of our time now talking about social media? Van Gregory made a great point, which is getting out, getting involved, being around people with lived experience. It's a great thing to do. It's great for your mental health. For those of you who were with us when we had Calm Pittsburgh on a few weeks ago, we talked about socialization and using those engaging activities as part of self-care, but also because it has a direct effect on your mental health and your physical health. If your mental health is bad, it's going to show up what we call somatically in your physical body, all right? But for some people, because of travel restrictions, mobility issues, comfort, they might not be able to get out or willing to get out and engage with people one-on-one. Social media is a great place to turn, right, Carl?
We talk about mindfulness and just putting yourself out there and meditating and doing those things. But I find TikTok to be very soothing and escape from reality. Sometimes it's fun. It can be hilarious. Sometimes it's like you find something that's an interesting read. You meet new people on there. It's to me, it's the same as not just killing time, but it's good for my mental health.
Okay. For me, I would say it is a lot of killing time, and I have spent too much time on TikTok Shop. All right, getting all the tchotchkes, but it's still fun. I mean,
I'm going to put a shout out though. She says that, but I've never seen somebody be so productive in a 24-hour period. So this is a workaholic over here. I don't know when she's killing this time she's talking about.
Well, I'm on the treadmill is when I'm doing it. I'm ordering all the cat stuff and everything else. I mean, anyway, that's my secret. My secret is I'm addicted to TikTok Shop. But that brings us to our first question. And remember, y'all, and hi, for those of you who joined us after we got started, put your location in the chat. We'd love to know where you're from. Even if you're an OG, you've been here the whole time, let other people know where you're from, okay? We are relying on some engagement from all of you. If you're willing to come off of mute and chat with us, do that. If you want to just type in your comment, we've got Nick and Lucha behind the screen. They will alert us and we'll have a conversation that way.
Yeah, so, otherwise people are stuck with two people's opinions. So anything you got, speak up with us.
Please. And although I think our opinions are great, I don't know that other people think our opinions are great, Carl.
Correct.
Okay, but you brought us to our first question.
Yeah.
I'm going to take out my handy dandy questions that Zach helped me create. And the first one is, what are your favorite social media apps and why? Mine is TikTok. Yours is also
TikTok for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I watch TikTok Live. I turn on the news stations, and that's how I get my news, actually, is TikTok Live. Mm-hmm. The news stations, not some Joe Blow in his mom's basement coming up with conspiracy theories. That's not the news I'm getting. Mm-hmm. But I like watching the CBS, ABC, and getting my news that way.
Yeah.
Other people, what social media apps are you using? Which ones are your favorite and why? Is anyone still a Facebook person? Should I say that I'm still a Facebook person? I feel like the young ones don't like Facebook anymore.
I think Facebook is huge today.
Okay.
It's still big. Yeah.
Okay. Facebook is good.
Yeah,
We are
I'm trying to
on
look at
Facebook.
mine right now. I don't use that one.
We are on LinkedIn. We are on TikTok. If you're not following us, our handle is the same, Amputee Aid, everywhere. Anyone want to share what social media apps do you use? Which ones do you like? And why do you like them?
Mine is so easy. Can I jump in?
Yeah, of course, because we're going to wait for some comments from our group.
I mean, I use LinkedIn professionally. So I use LinkedIn for finding candidates for our job board. I use it for stalking people instead of looking at their resume. It's just a really good platform from a professional standpoint where people are just advocating what they do for a living and what their skill set is. So it's really nice for networking and getting out there and seeing, where you're, even if you're just researching a company versus, and then the employees that work in that company.
Yes.
So to me, LinkedIn is a wonderful platform.
Now, question for you, Carl.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, are you the person, when you're looking at candidates, do you let them see that you've looked at their profile?
Oh, yeah, of
You don't
course.
do the anonymous thing, because that drives me crazy when
No,
someone looks at my profile anonymously.
No.
Okay.
I'm definitely out there. I don't care.
Okay. Hey, I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I also do that. For our clients who might be joining us or watching our recording, you're welcome to follow our Facebook and our TikTok, our LinkedIn for Amputee Aid. Some of you friend request us. That's okay too. We're not going to have I don't share lots of personal information on social media. It's more professional things,
Yeah, same here.
I see Van Gregory has his hand up. I didn't want to cut you off though, Carl, because you talked about LinkedIn.
I mean, LinkedIn and TikTok. So TikTok is definitely more geared toward having some fun and laughing and just killing time, whether I'm flying, traveling, I'm waiting in an airport. But the other social media platform is called Deep Stash. So I'm a reader, and sometimes I don't have the time to read an entire book, but Deep Stash is a nice, kind of a similar platform to, a swiping. If you see a book you like, it'll break down some of the highlights of the book and give you some of the really key points and summarize it so you can go through. Maybe you can't read the whole book, but in 20 minutes, you can go through the most important aspects of the book, the highlights of the book, and you can learn something in a short period of time and get some insight, especially in leadership, motivational things, mindfulness, relationship stuff. I mean, you could pick whatever you want. It's a highly rated app that I use, and it's social media.
Very nice.
Jennifer, Carl got me on that app, I want to say almost
Really?
a year ago, and I use it every morning when I work out.
Yeah.
Deep Stash.
Deep Stash, yeah, highly recommended. But
Can one of you type that in the chat for folks? I would want to look more into that. I'm a reader too. I love reading, but there's so many books that I want to read and will never get to unless I have what kind of sounds like the Cliff Notes version of it, maybe?
it is exactly that. And it's actually led me to saying, you know what? I want that book now. I'm going to
buy it.
Picked so much up in 10 minutes. Now I know I'm going to go buy that book. And it automatically feeds you based on the algorithm. Once you start to, what you like and things that are interesting to you, it starts to find more like that. So
Interesting.
it's a very cool app.
Very interesting. Van Gregory, I saw you had your hand up, and then I think we've got some comments too, so I'd like to get to those. But Van Gregory, what would you like to share?
No, I'd just like to say that as far as the social media platforms, I use TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and I do post on those, and it's kind of like to just kind of keep up with my progress and to also show others what the progress is. And not only that, the extraordinary things that I do is to kind of show the general public that all amputees or an amputation is not the end of life. It's just a variation or an adaptation to another type of life. And the thing that I like about it really the most is I do a lot of following of amputees, and I get a lot of amputees I follow.
Yes.
And it's so enriching, and it's so nice when you go to these different events and you comment and you encourage one another online. But when you actually get an opportunity to run into one of those people that you follow on social media
Great
at
point.
an event and you meet for the first time, it's like it's really indescribable.
Yeah.
It strengthens the bond that you have on social media. and it just brings the family together.
Yeah, isn't that interesting, Van Gregory, that, you
Great point.
You kind of feel like you know someone when you're following them on social media, and then when you see them in person, it's like, I know you, but now it's the you. It's the real you, and like you have this bond already, and it becomes so much more richer, when you can meet them in person.
In real life, I'm much taller. So
yes, yeah. and he's 10 years younger also. Yeah. It's amazing.
In real life, not on social media.
And I saw that Greg I think it was Greg, it might have been Peter, had mentioned Facebook for Dallas Amputee Network. Yeah, they've got a great Facebook group, and we're actually going to talk about different Facebook groups in a moment. So put the link in there. Tell us how people can sign up if they're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and want to be part of that group. Van Gregory brought us to our second question, actually.
All right.
Which is, how do you use social media to share your experience or connect with other amputees? And I will plug Van Gregory because we are connected on Instagram through Amputee Aid, and he's spot on. He will post day-to-day things, workout class, dance class, going to an event, traveling. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see because it normalizes your experience, right? And I see lots of people liking and following and tagging and resharing because it highlights real life. It's not the standard Paralympian, athlete amputee. Although you look exactly like a Paralympian athlete amputee, Van Gregory. But it's normal day-to-day stuff and fun stuff. And I think that can be inspiring, also enlightening, and remove some of the stigma, I think, that people who aren't used to that community might feel or experience.
Definitely.
Yeah. So comments, I'd love to hear from anyone, including you, Carl, obviously, about how you might use social media to, whether it's raise awareness, highlight your life as an amputee, share or connect with other amputees.
Yeah, I personally use it to share information. Okay. Sometimes it's just posting something that I saw that the people that follow me would want to see or hear. Sometimes it's very boring stuff about, forecasting or something that has to do with our business. But from an amputee standpoint, it's even better because I can find people that are in our community, reach out to them. We could share, ideas. We're networking. We're combining efforts on grants. Or if somebody, you can find me on LinkedIn and on our website. If you have questions or concerns, you could message me on there quickly, and I could get back to you and help you out. So I just feel like for me, it's a way to communicate and let people find me and ask questions.
Yeah.
And it gives me a platform to put out information. Sometimes I'll post something that I found on Deep Stash,
right?
That's motivational, and I think somebody wants to hear it. Maybe nobody wants to hear it, but I'll still put it out there.
Sure.
But it's fun for me when you're researching companies and understanding. Sometimes you just want to reach out to them because you have a unique interest that you might be able to work together on something, and it's nice to be able to go through that because sometimes a website's not going to tell you everything you want to know. They're so boilerplated, and I'm this type of company. Well, they're all the same once you get down to it. But when you find them on LinkedIn, you get to meet the people and the culture of the company and understand how they operate and whether or not they're into that. So I just think that without it, I would struggle with, just that day-to-day networking that we do.
Yeah, yeah. And, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I feel like since we've had this social media movement, it's easier to find out things about people and companies. True. But B, you don't have to do all the cold calling or awkward networking things how are you? Tell me about your business. But I think some people might lose the skill of small talk too.
Right. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The younger generation uses it exclusively to communicate. So when they actually pick up the phone, they forgot how to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Forgot to say hello and goodbye,
I think this is one of the reasons why if you're not following Amputee Aid on social, please do. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. You will see on our social media, we do a lot of videos. Some of them are replays of this, but some of them are just me talking at the camera. And that's intentional. We want people to feel like, oh, I saw this video and they were talking directly to me, and to have that personal element, whether you're here in Pennsylvania, you're clear across the country in California, like Marcelo, who often joins us on Marcelo's on right now in California. So that's, we use social media as a way to connect with people that we might not otherwise be able to connect physically with. Yeah. We also reach out to folks on all of the Facebook groups if they're looking for help, if they have a question, if they're looking for a mentor. we will nicely and without breaching any confidentiality message them. We'd love to connect with you and try to acquire folks who we can help that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else that anyone does, how do you use your social media? If you don't want to come off of mute, you can put your comment in the chat and we will read it. And while we're waiting for that, I wanted to make another point, and then there's a follow-up question to this, which is for some people, social media is their way of removing their transportation barrier. And I think that that's very important, right? Gas is expensive. You might not want to spend your gas money driving to an event. You might not have a car. You might not be at a point where you can drive yet, right?
Okay.
So for many people, that is their only way of connecting, and I think we should be mindful of that too. We're talking a lot about like business, business side, fun side, liking videos and things, but for some people, that is their day-to-day way of connecting with their community, right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. So I don't see any comments in the chat, so I'm going to move on to the next question because we have some example pictures, and I'm going to get on my soapbox in a minute here.
All right.
For some people know where I'm headed with this already. If you're an OG attendee of our live webinars or you watch all of our recordings, you're going to hear me talk again about imagery. So sorry in advance, but we're going to do it.
All right.
But let me ask the question first while we get up the examples that we're going to post into the chat. For your people watching the recording, we will put these in with the recording, so you'll see the images in a little bit.
Got it.
The question, Carl, is, have you ever seen a social media campaign or post that changed how people view disability or that was offensive to you as someone from the amputee community?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have.
There's one right out here on the street right now.
Yes. Okay, tell us about that. Tell people, so people who aren't driving down the street in Pittsburgh, what are you talking about?
I don't want to out the company. I don't even remember the name of the company, but I'll say this. They're using the image of an athlete, a para-athlete who's missing both legs, that's running, and clearly a phenomenal individual, right, in the picture, sprinting up a mountain, I believe. And I couldn't figure out what exactly they were advertising. It had nothing to do with amputees. It had nothing to do with inspiration or prosthetics. They were just using that image to, what do you call that, clickbait? They got you to see it, so you wanted to, if I was interested in it, because I'm like, what is this all about? How can I help? What is this? It turns out it was just a marketing company that raises money for marketing.
So they used an amputee for clickbait?
Yes, yeah. And it worked. I clicked. I didn't give them any money though.
I know, but use a puppy or a cute flower. Don't use a person.
Yeah,
Cringe.
It's a big billboard, and I'm driving down the road and I see this. At first glance, it's very inspirational. This woman is definitely built different. The way she was running, she looked like she was an Olympian, but she was 2 below the knee leg amputee, and but it had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So to me, that was just like taking advantage of that. And I just, it was cringy to me. Mm-hmm.
Yes, to use the young people's term, cringy. And I have to say, I see that billboard probably every day also. Mm-hmm. I thought it was an advertisement for the Paralympics. Yeah. I was like, okay. And clearly it's not. But now that you know more, that it's for a company that's not related to or serving the amputee community, it does feel disingenuous, to be nice, cringy, materialistic. I don't know. Maybe we need to contact them.
I mean, when you're pulling on the heartstrings, that's true. You got to do what you got to do, I guess. But I'm not faulting them. It just made me feel uneasy.
Yeah, that's good to. So anyone else, if you have maybe it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Okay, we're giving 2 examples for the folks in the chat, and on YouTube, our recording, you will see it. Our TikTok folks will post this to TikTok later for all of you over here on TikTok, so you can see what we're talking about. We posted a good one and one that's not so good. But if you have others that you like, whether they're inspirational or not, cringy, not cringy, things that you like, please share them in the chat, and we'll try to share as many as we can on our social media as well. Let's start. Okay, here I am getting on my soapbox. Are you ready? All right. Can I see a thumbs up or hearts if you can see in the chat the 2 photographs, the second one being of the Grand Mac from McDee's. I don't know if I don't want to slander anybody, so I'm not going to say
from a burger joint.
A burger joint that has the MC in its name.
Okay.
All right. So it's an advertisement. Now this was on social media, and the person posted it is clearly a left wrist and below amputee, right? And the post was made in jest. It was supposed to be funny, which is the advertisement for said restaurant chain with an MC in its name is for their sandwich, and it says use 2 hands. Okay, that's not helpful for people who don't have 2 hands.
No, not at all.
No, and some people might find that that is hilarious. For me, as an advocate, I find it A, tone deaf, and B, extremely offensive. So for adults, they might get it. You know, they've seen this stuff before. But what about little kids who go to said restaurant that has an MC in its name, which is marketed toward little ones, right? Mm-hmm. If they see something like that, I mean, how did that pass marketing? What? Nobody thought about that, right? I would say that that's a good example of social media imagery, which can be both funny. The poster intended that to be funny, but also for many people could be offensive, and for some people even triggering, especially for folks like some of our clients who are new amputees, right?
Yes.
Comments. Does anybody else? And like I said, I'm on my soapbox. For those of you who know me, you know this is a point that I will keep singing for the rest of my life. Imagery matters. Anyone else? Does anybody find this offensive? Do you think it's funny? Have you seen this before?
I had no idea what I was looking at.
Oh.
When you first showed it to me, I didn't see the small. I saw Grand Mac. I saw the hand. I saw the other residual. But when you told me what it said, immediately, okay, that's funny. However, if I was that guy, I wouldn't find that very funny.
No.
So, must use 2 hands, and it's a picture of a hand, and
right, and an amputee.
Somebody's going to be very offended by that and hurt by it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, for this said restaurant, I don't believe that they are using this advertisement anymore, or that they're even selling that sandwich anymore. Hopefully not. But it serves this is a great example of being mindful of what you're posting on social media, right? And so hi to our folks who just joined recently. Hello, nice to see you. Post in the chat where you're from. We're having a conversation about social media, and we're on our point about imagery.
Yeah. And I would also point out that imagery does nothing for the brand of that burger joint, right? So my point being is, if you were really looking at it from a marketing standpoint, Nick can help me out on this. You're really saying, we don't care if we lose anybody that's missing a hand and decides they never want to eat here again, right? But somehow they thought they were going to gain customer base by this cruel joke.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that nobody saw that and like, that's awesome. I gotta go down there and get a burger. No, nobody. Yeah. That is not encouraging anybody to get a burger. It's just simply making fun of somebody who's missing a hand.
Yeah. Although Greg makes a good counterpoint. No effect either way for me. They're a way of saying a big sandwich. True. Big for a said restaurant size. We all know in reality it's smashed down and it's like some 16-year-old who made it. But yeah. Okay. Good point though, Greg. Some of us aren't all bent out of shape like me on this stuff. But it's a good counterpoint. Nick, go ahead.
So not trying to defend them, but as a marketing person, your job is to sell a product or service, and you don't always look at the outside of what it's going to do to certain people.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I help you do Amputee Aid stuff, it's geared towards amputees and people that would be interested in it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure at some point there's going to be someone that's going to be offended, and it's not done on purpose, but something like that, you have to kind of take into consideration a little bit on the wording.
Yeah, yes. You just gave me a great idea, Nick. I think that Amputee Aid should sell a service to raise money for our nonprofit, and that is advising marketing groups on how to be more sensitive and aware of the limb loss, limb difference community.
I can think of 10 better ways to advertise that giant sandwich.
Exactly. Yes. I'm not so, all right. So let's go on. And so thank you, Greg, for your counterpoint. Greg shared his comment. Anyone else who has a comment, please put it in the chat. We'd love to talk about your comment as well. But now let's go to the first image. And Nick, if you don't mind kind of scrolling up for us, because we're looking at it on our chat screen on our side. This is another meme that we we used, I would not say stole because we're going to give them credit, okay? We borrowed, used, and are thanking our friends at Less Leg, More Heart because this is one of their social media posts. And it says, community reminds us that we're never alone in our healing. Tina and Van Gregory started us off with this point when they were talking about
That's
the fundraiser
correct.
that they just went to. And this is a beautiful example of that. So from my perspective, again, on my soapbox about imagery and social media imagery, Carl, this goes in the opposite direction, which is talking about inclusivity. In this picture, you see people from different demographic backgrounds, different types of amputations in a setting that's not, it's not harsh colors, it's very appealing to the eyes. Men, women, nothing that stands out as culturally insensitive, and it shows people together engaging, right?
Yeah, it looks fun.
It looks fun, and it talks about what Tina and Van Gregory mentioned, and Peter and Greg too for the Dallas Amputee Network event that's coming up on Sunday. Go to it if you're in Dallas or Fort Worth area, which is about engaging with the community. And how that's good, no matter where you are at in your healing journey, it's helpful, it's engaging, it's part of your healing journey. So there's a great example of how social media imagery can be used to be a positive thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. From our marketing expert, Nick, any comments? Am I right? I'm an armchair marketing person right now. Am I spot on about this, or am I like totally off in the weeds?
No, you're 100% there.
Ooh, okay, great.
And I enjoy all your posts. You're
Oh, thank you.
doing a great job.
Okay, so we're going to share. We will share this one, and we'll credit appropriately Less Leg, More Heart because it is their posting.
Very cool.
So, does anyone any comments or feedback? Because we've got one final question that I want to go to, and then we're going to highlight some fun things that we have coming up next week and the week after, including giveaways. You know, I love giveaways. All right, so if you do have a comment, post it, and we're going to skip to our final question on the topic of social media, which is, what online groups are you a member of and why? Now, we are going to share a slide with everyone, and we'll list in our email that goes out on Friday with the recording all of the groups that we are part of and how to connect with them. But we'd love to hear from all of you. This is the time to post and plug your groups, okay? Because we'd love to know which groups that you are a part of and why. They don't have to be amputee related, although the ones that we're going to share are.
Peter
Carl.
got a great message.
Oh, go right ahead.
Peter mentioned one issue on his mind is regarding social media is how to balance the need for sharing positive updates, but also realistic about the challenges because nobody wants a pity party because social media is, the gloom is doom kind of thing,
Yes.
That's a great point. One thing I would say, though, is, when you're fundraising, like we're talking about, you are talking about the challenges a lot more than when you're just trying to advocate. You talk about the positive attributes or the inspirational things that you talk about, but I have a hard time with that. I think he's right. Like it's hard to balance, like when you're saying, even when we were filming me, I had a hard time like, oh man, I look horrible in that video. But that's realistic and that's letting people know reality of major surgery or things that you're going through and the struggles that you might be having, whether they're good or bad. I feel like the platform should allow that. I think people see that as being vulnerable and helpful, and that allows people to trust you more.
Yeah.
So, if you're only showing the highlights, it makes it difficult to show people how real it is being an amputee. I'm trying to think of another like analogy that would help with that, but the truth is you can't always. It's like a gambler. He only talks about how much money they won. They never talk about what they lost.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, when you're being an amputee, you want people to see that you're strong and able to do certain things. So that's what you show.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's okay to be vulnerable and share the pitfalls as well, so people can see that what's genuine and what's real.
Yeah, and what I would say, I have two comments to kind of piggyback after what you're saying, Carl.
Yeah.
And Peter's comment is, the first comment is, know who your audience is, right? So related to that, actually my first comment is your comfort level matters. So share what you're comfortable with. But then second, related to that is who your audience is matters. So for me as a fundraiser, for example, if I'm communicating directly with a client on social media, we're going to want to have a more unvarnished, not always pretty, glowy, happy, just an honest post. We want to be more realistic, more relatable, right? The good and the bad. If I'm sending out a marketing for fundraisers and I want it to be super happy, positive, I want everyone to come to our event, I'm going to show all the happy, glowy, fun things. If I'm sending out an ask letter to potential donors, I want to pull on their heartstrings. That's a different kind of audience where it might be a little bit more of a pity party is maybe not the word to use, but we'll convince them that there's an unmet need and they can change a life. Right? Starfish story. If you don't know the starfish story, watch our podcast from October. Okay. So I think knowing your audience, Peter, would kind of help with that balance, but then also comfort level. You don't have to be, although we're talking about social media, if you don't want to put anything out there about your life as an amputee, you do you. Okay. You know, no one's saying that you have to share your story, but if you do want to share your story, Carl, you know, sometimes your comfort level is ultimately what controls, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have a hard time being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I get it. I was thinking about that though. Like, what's it? GoFundMe.
Yes.
You know, like when you go on a GoFundMe and you start researching, you know, things to fund, it's 100% a pity party. It is, oh, this, woe is me, this happened, and whatever those issues are, whatever the outcome would be, and it works. People give their money and their time to those programs or to those individuals. But I felt like the problem with that platform is it never follows up. There's no, hey, here we are a year later, thanks to you. Here's the outcome of the GoFundMe. It's really just one side of that, and it never shows the outcome.
The outcome.
Does that mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes.
Probably didn't say that right.
No, it's a good point. If you are the type of person using social media to share your story, if you are going to, you should share, in my opinion, your whole journey, because people are watching. That's why we record podcasts with Carl about his surgery, and we want to talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between.
Yeah.
The painful parts, the not so painful parts. So if you are using your social media platform to share your journey, be mindful that, yes, you probably should share all of it, because if you don't, you're setting up someone else who might be following you for an unrealistic expectation.
Right.
Show the outcome, but show all the hard stuff that goes with it.
It's always funny to me, you know, social media, we'll use Facebook as an example, is a chance for you to tell the world who you want them to see you as.
Yeah.
It's usually not the real you.
That is true.
You're highlighting who you are. You put your favorite pictures on there. You brag about where you ate dinner,
Yes.
or a show you went to, but you're not talking about what made you cry the day before,
Sure.
you know, or when some disaster happens, you know.
Yeah.
It's not the right platform, I guess. But when you're talking about trying to educate other people or be part of a community, you got to be mindful and you got to be willing to do both.
Yeah, yeah.
You just got to be real.
Great. I see Van Gregory has a comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yes, it has to. We're saying about showing the full journey and the struggles of what your journey involves, and being accountable for things. Because I found myself guilty of that at the beginning of my postings, and just posting a lot of my results and my successes and giving a false impression that, hey, I just got my prosthesis and this is where I'm at. So I had to kind of back up on that a little bit and start posting some of the actual struggles that I have had to overcome in order to get to where I am. So like a lot of the exercises and things that I do now or have done in the past, I've gone back and start posting some of those things as well. And a lot of the stumbling and, you know, the unbalanced walking that I've had to encounter in order to get where I am now. Now, although I won't say that. But yeah, just being accountable for what you're posting.
Yes.
Because it does give people who are new in the journey to gives them a false impression of they're just going to get their legs and all of a sudden they're going to be able to run 5Ks and they're going to be able to rock climb and, you know, things of that nature. So you have to have some sense of accountability and responsibility to the community and to others as well. Don't want to set anyone up for failure, because it could be a failure for them. Can you imagine, you know, someone getting their leg and then thinking all of a sudden that they're just going to be able to walk or they're going to be able to run? That could be mentally catastrophic for them.
Yeah.
And misleading some cases. Yeah.
Misleading, and really make them beat up themselves and feel like, I'm not where I quote should be. I wish we could get rid of the word should.
I'm not as good as or something.
Yeah, because of what you see on social media. Great point, Van Gregory. And I think related to this, as we're wrapping up on this topic, is finding groups on social media that resonate with you and that you are connected to. So we love Balanced Amputee. Miss Leslie Green at Hanger does an amazing job with Balanced Amputee. They have 18 plus webinars every week. If you're not following a Balanced Amputee, you should. There's also, by the way, side point, if you're looking for events to go to, Hanger's website, they have an events tab. They list a ton of events, and whether you're a Hanger patient or not, you can go, okay? So keep that in mind if you're looking for in-person socialization. We follow Amputee Coalition. Les Legmore Hart does an amazing job. We borrowed one of their posts for our conversation today. Yeah. The Amputee Support Network, Dallas Amputee Network is one of on our list. So if you find groups that resonate with you, you see more honest and unfiltered feedback in those groups that are concentrated for your audience. Going back to our comment with Peter, knowing your audience. So that's another way of looking at it, right? If you're like sensory overload, too much positivity, too much, filtered crap on social media. One way of narrowing that down and still using social media in a way that's beneficial to you is finding a group that resonates with you.
Yes.
So let's close out this topic because we try to keep people just for an hour. We're coming up on our hour now.
Ooh, wow, that was fast.
That was fast, but I gotta plug some things coming up because they're going to be exciting for all of you.
So much cool stuff coming up.
Okay? And we will continue our conversation on social media when Zach, our influencer friend, is recovered and healthy and able to share all of his insight on how you become an influencer, what it means to be an influencer, and how you can use your platform. So stay tuned in a couple of weeks when he's better. We'll have him on, okay? So next week, Carl, get your workout clothes on.
Oh man, I'm so excited about this.
We are going to be in a new setting. We are going to be at UFC Gym live in the gym, and we are with Coach Zach. At UFC, they call their trainers coaches. Mm-hmm. And Coach Zach is a big buff guy and very well trained, and he is going to demonstrate for us, and you will see us as well as some of our volunteers demonstrating as well, like 1980s workout video style. So exercises that are adaptive exercises. So for folks who need to be seated, for folks who have balance issues, if you're looking at core strength, he's going to talk about diet. He's going to show us his recovery room for people who want to know more about red light therapy and cold therapy and all of the stuff. Mm-hmm. What kind of smoothies to have after your workout. We're going to spend a whole hour at UFC Gym live. So if for no other reason than to laugh at us doing the exercises, please come next Wednesday and post and share with all of your friends so that they can come. Okay.
And it is so important. Trust me, if you're an amputee, this is going to be incredible. And I'm telling you firsthand, I will say two things. The UFC gym is not an MMA gym. Although it has MMA capabilities and they have all that equipment, it is an incredible gym. Mm-hmm. They have all kinds of workout equipment. It is a really cool facility, and I'm really excited to get in there and get to see it.
Yes.
And number two, it is really difficult to work out when you're missing everything's off. Carrying dumbbells isn't like it used to be, and it's so nice to get the insight from experts on understanding that. I personally have been struggling with it for the last 2 months, not being able to work out and trying to find all these different alternatives. So this is really cool for me. I enjoy this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And we have to say, UFC Gym donated their space and their trainer completely free.
Wow.
They're doing this for us for free. So we love them. We love them for doing that. And they're just an awesome gym. So wait until you see all of this stuff. And like I said, if for no other reason than to show up and watch us attempt exercises, you're going to be great. I'm not so sure about myself. We will do that. So please come and share with all of your friends. The week after that, Carl, I said I love giveaways. I'm super excited. Okay. Yeah. So the week after that is the week before Thanksgiving, November 19th. We are going to be doing a conversation about holiday gifts for people with limb loss and limb difference. Okay. So we'll have some, we'll talk about some. We want your input on them. And that because it's the week before Thanksgiving, or for me, the week before Black Friday, we will be doing giveaways. Okay. So for folks who are attending live, we have lots of giveaways. So we'll be raffling things off during the session. 2 of them, Carl, are worth $250 each.
Ooh.
I know. So 2 of you, if you're showing up live, you will get a gift valued at $250. One is for athletic gear. Well, that's a gift certificate. You can shop for yourself. The other one is for holiday cookies. So if you don't want to shop or make your own holiday cookies, you're going to get a gift card. Okay. We will have more, but I want to highlight, we're going to have 2 $250 items for people who show up live for our holiday gift giving session.
Very cool.
So tell all of your friends, and maybe not, because we don't want lots. If you want to maximize your ability to win, no, we want to see lots of people here. We'll have more giveaways too. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we've got coming up.
And anybody thinking about buying me something for Christmas, I have plenty of socks. I only wear one at a time. I don't need socks.
Very funny. Or you can do your holiday. Again, I would not be doing my job as executive director if I did not say it is our charitable giving season. We'd love to accept your donation here at Amputee Aid for any value at all. We're a 501c3. You get a tax deduction letter.
Absolutely.
In December, one more highlight. I'm going to squeeze out just a couple more minutes. In December, on December 10th, we will have a conversation with an attorney from Edgar Snyder, which is a very well-known law firm here in Pennsylvania. And it is all about disability benefits, Social Security disability. So if you have questions, what's the process like? What is the application process like? You heard myths, you want to know. It's a Q&A session with a lawyer, okay? We've got Calm Pittsburgh coming up in December, all kinds of things. So next week, we'll see you all at UFC Gym.
Yeah.
In the meantime, thank you for coming back. For all of our regulars and for those of you watching our recordings, or if you're new, hi to you too. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us here at Life Amplified, brought to you by Amputee Aid. Until we see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Zoom and TikTok at UFC Gym, we hope you have a lovely rest of the week and a lovely beginning of next week. Take care of yourself. We'll see you all next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Bye, everyone.
Hey, if you're local, come down to the marathon on Sunday.
If you're in Dallas, Legapalooza on Sunday. Bye, everybody. Take care.